on the witch hunt. Your name is on the list. This time it won't be missed. A witness to the...
And
Okay.
hello everybody, this is Max 101 and also for the radio show Midnight Madness. I'm here with, what a band, man. This is Aittala. Is that correct, Eric?
That's correct. Aittala.
Aittala. I'm here with Eric Aittala from the Aittala band. This is a very, very heavy metal band, like the real good ones, And how you doing, Eric?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for your time. And tell me about, all the new work, all the new music that you are working with lately. I love the song Nemesis. What? Tell me again It's a video that we're watching now.
Yeah, it's a clip from the song Nemesis. It was the
Nemesis.
second video from the new album False Pretenses.
Yeah, and also you have two videos, right? One is Nemesis and the other one?
Right. The other one is Black Coffin. That was the first single from the album.
Yeah, man, and I'm very excited. And tell me, tell me about the what you get inspired with for the new album. How did you prepare? The band. The collaboration for the lyrics. The music.
Well, I tell you, I'm actually the sole songwriter of the band, and basically I just write organically. So I don't do any preparation. I don't think about it. When I'm writing songs, I just kind of let them flow. I work on music and I work on lyrics kind of independently. And then when I feel like I have a good piece of music that needs lyrics, I kind of just keep playing with it and molding it until a song comes out of it. And I like to say kind of jokingly, I don't write songs. I'm a conduit to let the songs exist the way they want to exist in this world. Yeah. So I just write to write. I don't really write for any specific purpose.
That's awesome, man. And how do you, sorry, just out of curiosity, so how does a song come to you? Do you, for example, wake up in the morning and say, oh, I just had a dream about this song, and you just write it and, in like within few minutes you have the song? Or it's something that takes more time and you take more, thinking, you put more thinking into it, it takes several days?
Sometimes songs can actually take several years, in fact.
Wow.
Usually what'll happen is I'll be inspired by something I see on the news or on a TV show, like either like a storyline or a theme or a plot. And I'll think of like a couple lines to some lyrics or maybe a verse, and I'll write it down. And then I just have a songwriting book. So I keep adding different ideas. And as I get more and more ideas, I'll go through the book, go through my lyric book, and I'll start bringing themes or words that I feel that go together. And I start kind of crafting a story in my head. Usually most songs I have, there's a story in the backgrounds that I create in my head. So there's a character or a main character or other characters, and I just kind of write that story as it comes together. So the words that I write inspire me to write other words based on the theme of, the lyrics that I'm writing.
Awesome, man. That's a very good answer, man. I really like the way that you get the inspiration, and the way you work. And then just before we talk a little bit more about the music, tell me about the other members of your band. Tell me their names.
Well, so, it's a three-piece band. So it's a drummer and a bass player. The drummer's name is Gary Smith. He goes by Zeus is his nickname that he got a long time ago. He's been in the band since 2012. So we're going on 8 years that he's been with the band. And then the bass player that you see in the video, he's the new guy. He's been in the band about 6 months, and his name is Ali Lugo.
Cool. And you guys have been together for, the new member, like you say, a few months, but the band itself has been there for how many years, or for how long?
Well, so the history of the band, the original incarnation of the band was formed in 1991. So I'm a bit old. Yeah, I was living in Holland. I was in the military in the United States Air Force, and I was living in Holland. And I've been writing songs since I was in high school, And so I had met another American. His wife was in the military, and he was the original singer of the band. So if you go find the original EP that's available, you can find out there with the other albums. He's the actual singer for that band. But, you know, we had a two Dutch guys were in the band on drums and bass. And then that band existed for about 2 years. And then I got out of the military. And then I kind of put it on hold because my goal of was to get in other bands and be more collaborative with people, to write together, to have, we kind of talked about earlier, that my dream band was like Kiss, where you had, 4 guys that were, could sing and contribute songs. And unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. So I was in a bunch of bands, we would be together for a little bit and then we'd break up. And I got tired of that. So about 2008, I decided I'm just going to do Aittala full time and not do it kind of as a songwriting project on my own. And that's when I got, back in, releasing the first album in 2009, which is Bed of Thorns. And then about every 2 years, I've released another album. So the current, the live version started again in about 2011. And so I've been had the live version existing since, like I said, 2011.
Awesome. You just mentioned Kiss. What are your influences? I mean, probably Kiss was, an influence as a kid, right? But currently, or for the past few years, what are your biggest influences?
Well, I still say my biggest influences were the bands that I grew up with, right? When I was a teenager in the 80s, that's when metal was really coming into its own, right? Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Dio, Black Sabbath, anything from the 80s is really my biggest inspiration. And, unfortunately, as of late, it's hard to find good bands that you really identify with. Probably most people who love metal, they love the older metal.
Yeah.
But obviously, my goal, I'm in a band, I want people to, discover us and, like our music, like they like some of those old bands. So hopefully, people will find us from this podcast and they'll dig us.
Yeah. Eric, 2 things. First, thank you so much for your service, during your army years. Second, thank you for keeping the heavy metal alive, because it's very difficult for a heavy metal band, to be out there, to promote, to get gigs, to record an album. So thank you so much for that, because we, the heavy metal fans, we need this, and you're certainly right, some people are very stick to the old heavy metal, but most of the bands, or a lot of those bands, they are, they're not there anymore, or they are touring, all over the world, and we don't happen to see them. So this is very cool that you have a band, that you fight for it, and I really appreciate it, buddy. Tell me about the new album. How many songs? Because the new album came like a couple of months ago, right? August, if I'm right.
Well, September 6th it came out. So
September
right,
6th.
yeah.
How many?
Well,
songs?
the new album. Yeah, the new album is called False Pretenses. It's 10 brand new songs. Again, Nemesis and Black Coffin are on it. A lot of other great songs. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it, but we actually have a new video coming out next week that we're going to announce here for another one of the songs. So that'll be the 3rd video release from the album.
Okay. You cannot say anything yet?
Well, I mean, the song is dead. What? Oh, whoops, sorry, blocking the video there.
It's okay.
No, I can say, the song is Debt. It's actually a ballad. Ironically, not a lot of people release ballads. We're working with Curtain Call Records.
Oh, yeah.
I think you interview quite a few of their bands, from what I understand.
Yes.
They decided the second single they wanted to release was Debt, and so they asked me, if I could get a video done for it, and we got a video done for it. I'm actually excited for people to see it because, most videos are performance videos, or especially the last 2 for us. But this one actually is more of an acting. It's got more of a storyline. Nice. So I've watched quite a few people have watched it. That are close, that I let get a sneak peek, and they love it.
Awesome.
Hopefully they're just not telling me that because they're my friends, but we'll find out when we release it for everybody to see.
Yeah, so by the way, I want to say hi to Sal Quintero from the record company, right? The Curtain, what is it called?
Oh, yeah.
Curtain Records. Curtain Call.
Yeah.
I always have pronounced the name of record company.
Oh, Curtain Call.
Curtain Call Records, yeah, and also
Right.
Chichi and Angela, yeah, those they're
Right.
awesome, awesome girls, awesome. So Eric, how can the last final couple of questions? How can I reach you guys? How can I buy your music? Is that available on what formats? Tell me everything about how can I reach the Aittala band.
Well, I mean, you can go to the website. We still have an official website, which is this Aittala.com, which is AITTALA.com. From there, all our links to our main social media like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also just Google the name, and you'll find every link that you can imagine. We're on every digital platform that you can find. If you still like a physical CD, we have physical CDs for sale on CD Baby. But again, all that information is readily available either from a Google search or just going right to our Aittala.com website to jump off to the other websites,
Awesome.
social media and whatnot.
Awesome. And tell me about the gigs. Do you have any tour coming up? Any dates that you can advertise right now?
Well, right now, the only thing we have, tomorrow night, you can cut that part out because this probably won't air by tomorrow. So
No, I might put it tonight, man. If you're going tomorrow, I put it tonight, man.
Okay, I didn't know. So tomorrow night we're playing in Roanoke, Virginia, at a little place called the Front Row, I believe. I can't remember, something like that. It's downtown Roanoke, Virginia.
Okay.
Coming up in January, we got a couple gigs in Asheville, North Carolina, in Raleigh, North Carolina on January 11th. Asheville is January 4th. And right now we're just looking at booking different festivals and stuff. Nothing is concrete other than Metal in the Mountains, which is in June next year. But we're going to start booking here shortly, looking at doing some, tour runs, maybe like a week at a time. But more to come on our touring and whatnot. But you can keep up to date on Aittala.com for sure to see any shows that we have upcoming.
Eric, heavy metal is a music that is worldwide, followed by fans. What's the message that you can give to the fans, not only here in the United States, but all around the world, Europe, Latin America, you name it?
Well, I would say, just keep supporting new bands. When you go discover new bands. If there's a local show, go check them out because you might see your next favorite band and you don't even know it until you see them.
Oh man, I love that answer. That's you never know when there's a new band there that is gonna blow up your mind. Eric, thank you so much for your time. I look forward for another interview with you. Please keep me up to date with your music. I'm a big fan of Aittala and and new rock, man. Heavy metal. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thanks, Max.
The line has been drawn. False pretense is gone. It's time to confront. It's time to witch hunt. Your name is on the list. This time it won't be missed. A witness